I think I've never agreed so much with a psychopath's statement in my life.
Is it just me, or is the world getting crazier?
I've been having this feeling more and more. I was born and raised in a big city. I built my whole life there, and it's still there. But it's been a few months since I moved to the countryside. Now I'm living more isolated in the middle of nature. And this decision wasn't just a simple escape. After all, there's nothing definitive about this change. It's just a phase in my life. But what I can say is that in these few months, I've noticed things that went unnoticed for years in the city. Things I used to accept, environments and people I used to tolerate. Only after distancing myself did I realize its effect on me. Stepping away from the game made it clear to me how we accept living a lie. It's just like that thing from the Truman Show, you know? That movie where the main character is born inside a TV show and everything around him is programmed and artificial. All the people he interacts with are paid actors following a scripted plan. He lives inside a television studio, but since he was born in there, that's all he knows. That's his reality. And because of that, no matter how fake his world is, he doesn't question it. In there, he truly falls in love. He truly feels fear. He truly suffers. And we, watching from the outside, even feel sorry for him. Imagine living like that, boxed in, reacting genuinely to a completely artificial reality. But we don't realize that in a more sophisticated way we're living the same thing and we accept it. After all, as the show's director explains well when asked why Truman doesn't discover the truth about his world, he answers, "We accept the reality that is presented to us." It's that simple. We don't question the world we're born into. It seems natural because it's always been that way. But when you stop to think, what's natural about all of this? Is it natural to spend hours staring at a little screen, snooping on other people's lives? Is it normal to talk more with AIs than with people? Is it normal to lose hours every single day inside a cramped space with a bunch of other people just to go to and from work? Or maybe, just like Truman, we've also just accepted the sick reality that was presented to us. Sure, our lives aren't controlled by a single show director, but still, there are some similarities.
What the hell are you talking about?
After all, there are forces that shape how we think, what we eat, what we watch, how we take care of our health, what we desire, and they've been there since we can remember. And because of that, they're already part of our reality. And what's curious is that if we compare, these forces follow a logic very similar to the director of The Truman Show. He's not necessarily a monster. He even cares about Truman on some level. After all, he's the star of his show. But it's clear that his priority is to increase and engage his audience, attract advertisers, and of course, make money. Truman's well-being only matters enough to keep the show running. This becomes very clear when we see Truman have a real romance inside, where the actress herself also falls in love with him. She even tries to warn him about that world. She tries to show him that everything is fake. And what does the show's director do? He sends actors to distract him, creates a whole mess, removes the actress from the show for good, and he does absolutely everything to make Truman believe in that world again. If his main concern was really Truman's well-being, he would end the show right away and let Truman get on with his life. But no, what matters most to him is keeping the show on the air. And it's exactly this same logic that prevails in our world. No matter how much many big institutions, industries, and companies say that their main concern is people's well-being, what we actually see in practice doesn't reflect that statement. If well-being really was the priority, like they say, why did the sugar industry hire Harvard researchers in the 1960s to publish bought and paid for studies that completely cleared sugar and blamed animal fats for heart disease? Why did the industry persuade people to switch from butter to margarine by claiming it was healthier? Why did they put so many processed vegetable oils, preservatives, emulsifiers, artificial flavorings, and chemicals that the human body doesn't even recognize as food into our food? Why did they make packaging that releases microplastics into what you eat? Simple, because the main thing here is also to keep the program running. It's to keep the industry strong. Therefore, decisions are driven by what is cheapest to produce, lasts longest on the shelf, and is most addictive. Whether that's good or bad for people, well, it just can't be so obvious that it's harmful, to the point where the show has to stop because of it. The medical industry follows the same script. The current health model is one that treats symptoms, not the root causes. because a cured patient is a lost customer. Now, a patient who is chronically dependent on medication means recurring revenue. Are you getting the logic? And I'm not saying that every doctor is corrupt or that everyone in the food industry is a bad person. Far from it. I'm just trying to show how, in the end, everyone is concerned with keeping their own show running. We see this everywhere. In the entertainment industry, it's the same thing. Social media algorithms were designed to get you addicted, not to do you any good. It's not surprising that when Facebook saw anger and hatred drove the most engagement, they programmed algorithms to promote that content more. The other day, I even saw that Netflix screenwriters were instructed to make movies more superficial and easier to understand, because audiences want to watch and use their phones simultaneously without losing the story. So they'll make even dumber movies and series, because they're not concerned about delivering quality content, but about keeping people's attention, continuing to sell and generate interest, even if that means feeding people's own sickness.
You know, it wouldn't be terrible if you repeated the plot 3 or 4 times in the dialogue because people are on their phones while they're watching. You know what I mean? And so then it's going to really start to infringe on how we're telling the story.
And I'm hammering on all of this to show how what really matters in this world is keeping your own show running. Things only change when people start to question. And that's exactly why the system needs you not to question. In The Truman Show, the director did this actively. Whenever Truman sensed something was off, artificial rain, sudden traffic, or unexpected people would distract him. The director would simply manufacture urgent situations and keep him in a constant state of anxiety. After all, a busy and scared Truman doesn't have time to think. And it's bizarre because in our world today, it seems like it doesn't even take that much effort. We kind of already do this job ourselves. Just look at it. Netflix didn't have to force anyone to watch shallower content. The audience asked for it. Facebook didn't force anyone to get addicted to content that provoked anger. People engaged more with that. The algorithm learned and delivered. In other words, people cooperate without even realizing it. And do you know why? Because they need distractions. They need to get rid of the discomfort the world brings. Rising inflation keeps you from slowing down, or you'll fall behind. New technologies threaten your job. There's constant fear of lagging behind competitors. It's social media constantly showing you someone who achieved more, who went further, who seems to have more. It's comparison, competition, envy, consumption, desire. There are several mechanisms that keep tormenting us. It's just like that saying, the best way to prevent a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he never knows he's in prison. And we've reached that point. We don't notice the prison, we don't notice the trap. And the worst part is that we still think the solution to escape this discomfort is to chase the next level. Whether it's a promotion, money, fame, or success, in other words, the system puts you in a constant state of discomfort and then sells you the race as a remedy for that discomfort. And this is the most well-disguised prison there is, because it even looks like freedom. But if you stop to analyze what happens to those who reach the top, those who achieve what we chase after so much, you see how empty this game is. And, in fact, it doesn't lead us anywhere. There are plenty of examples out there of people who live the dream life, who have achieved everything we seek: fame, money, sex, power. But in the end,
we have nothing to do with that.
Take Andre Agassi, who dedicated his life and made sacrifices from childhood to become the world's top tennis player. He achieved his dream. But when he got there, he found himself in a deep depression, became addicted to drugs, and lived with a sense of emptiness that he couldn't even explain. Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time, loved swimming since he was a kid and became the best in the world at what he loved. And after achieving everything, depression, he spent days locked in his room with no desire to go out, questioning whether it was worth continuing to live. Jim Carrey himself, who loved making people laugh since he was a child, ended up becoming one of the greatest comedians in history. And then he shows up in an interview and says this:
I wish people could achieve all their dreams and have wealth and fame so they could see that this is not where you will find your sense of fulfillment.
And the point is that many people in this life have reached exactly where they wanted to be and found the same emptiness on the other side. And that's where the question comes in. So what's the point of this game that we play with so much desperation? If the race makes us sick and the finish line disappoints, what exactly are we doing with the little time we have in life? This is the big lie we're living. And the problem isn't having ambition, it's not having desire, it's not winning the prize itself. It's way beyond all of that. I was actually reading the other day about a study done in the United States, I think in the 70s, where they took children who loved to draw, and then they divided them into two groups. The first group kept drawing, but now they received a reward for their drawings. It was a star, a prize, some money. Meanwhile, the second group kept drawing without receiving anything in return. And then after a few weeks, they observed what the children did in their free time. And the result was this. The children in the second group, the ones who didn't get anything in return, kept drawing on their own. But the children in the first group, the ones who received a reward, practically stopped. Now they would only draw if they were going to get something in return. Basically what happened here is that the external reward killed the internal motivation. It seems like these children's brains were reprogrammed. The idea of drawing purely for pleasure was over. After all, after getting something in return, drawing for nothing was for suckers. Now they would only draw to earn the gold star. And there's no secret. When you focus only on the reward, your passion goes away. That's exactly what the world does to us. We are born with genuine curiosities, real desires, with things we do simply because we want to. But slowly we start replacing these internal motivations with external ones. And we start doing things only for the outcome.
Life isn't about being creative. It's about sucking up, playing it safe, making money for your boss, and hoping he throws you a bone someday.
All right? Just like this kid, we start accepting that as the truth. And all that creative magic from childhood of doing things without thinking about the outcome just goes away. And it makes sense that it happens like that. After all, when we're kids, survival isn't a concern. We do things for the only pure reason there is. Because we want to. We play just to play. We draw just to draw. The process is everything and the result doesn't really matter. But then we grow up and suddenly the result becomes our livelihood, our security, the proof that we're worth something. In this world, your whole life starts to revolve around what you produce, what you achieve and accumulate. And then we trade the process for the result, trade the now for the later, and spend our whole lives living for some finish line that when you reach it, is never enough. It's no coincidence that depression and anxiety spike in adulthood. This is the price we pay for living disconnected from the only moment that actually exists, the now. I was even reading an interesting book, which is this one here by Osho, Become Who You Are, which is his analysis of Nietzsche's work, Zarathustra. And there's a concept he develops where he says there are three phases in life. The first is the camel phase, which is basically when you're a pack animal, carrying the weight of the world, always chasing results, the promotion, the money, the car, the house, the recognition. You think that's what's going to fix your life. This is the phase where most people remain and spend their whole lives. Some manage to reach the second phase, which is the lion phase. The lion is the one who made it, who achieved what the camels desire so much. The lion is the one who sets the rules, the guy who is envied. Even though the lion has reached where he wanted, he still feels an emptiness. He stays fixated on results, believing each achievement will bring fulfillment, but begins to realize none of it is enough. And that's where the third stage comes in, the rarest stage, which is the child stage. And here the child has nothing to do with innocence or naivety. Here, child means someone who acts without expecting anything in return. Someone who does things simply because they want to, who lives for the process and not for the result. In this state, the result becomes a consequence, not the end itself. It's someone who has overcome the need for external validation, who no longer needs the world to confirm their worth. And if there's one thing life has taught me, it's that staying in this state may be difficult. It may even pit you against the world, but it's the only way to live with dignity. If you like my videos, I'd like to invite you to check out my exclusive content platform. There, I share my most valuable content. Go to the website warmbrazil.com.br and I'll explain everything there.